welcome to Plan Path Podcast today. This is your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations in education. My name is Oluwatosin Mugbadun Ade and I'm your host on the show. The show is brought to you courtesy of Plan Path Consult, your choice hub for trainings, research development, collaborations, counselings, and everything education. You can reach out to us on any of our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn at PlanPack Consult, or mail us at planpac@gmail.com. Alright, today I'm very excited. It's a book review day and I'm very happy. Today we are reviewing a book called Relationship Goals by Pastor Michael Todd. It has a headliner that says How to Win at Dating, Marriage and Sex. And trust me, everybody, I really want to win in relationships, in all my relationships, and I'm sure you also want to win as well. Okay, so let's jump right into the book now. The book is about 222 pages and it was written in 2020. Actually, it was originally a 8-part sermon that was preached in 2018 at Transformation Church, and it literally spread like a wildfire. Everybody started listening to it and it turned into a book. So you can decide to actually go listen to the book review, to the original sermon. It's on YouTube. Just type relationship goals and the 8 sermons will come out. Okay, Pastor Michael Todd is married. He has 4 children. He's married to Pastor Natalie Todd. He has 4 children. They have 4 children together. He's the pastor of Transformation Church, as I said earlier, Tulsa. Transformation Church used to be called Greenwood Christian Center, and then it was headed by Bishop Gary McIntosh, and then Pastor Mike and Natalie became the heads in 2015. Okay, so the book, let's talk about it. I actually use relationship goals as my reference for relationships generally. Trust me, I still listened to it last week Sunday. It's that serious. I literally go back to it and refer to stuff a lot. It's been very helpful. I've had it on my laptop since 2018. Okay, so let's talk about chapter 1. The way we're going to be reviewing the book today is quite different because we are just going to be picking out the lesson points from each chapter. I may not even mention the chapter at times. Okay, so first of all, chapter 1 says taking aim. It has a quote by Drake. It says, God's plan, I can't do this on my own. Okay, so first of this chapter 1 literally talks about the concept of relationship goals. When people talk about relationship goals, usually you can even try it out and just Google or search on your browser, say hashtag relationship goals. You see a lot of things, and when people say relationship goals, they usually have pictures of people like Simi and Adekunle Gold, Will Smith and Jada. By the way, we have a book review of Will Smith's book, Will by Will Smith. You can go listen to it, please. It's a previous book we reviewed. So they have a picture of people like Kim and Kanye, Fela and Tara Durotoye, Pastor Poju and Pastor Tony Oyemade. Those are the kind of couples that people have in mind, and lots more, depending on people's preferences. People have those kind of like humans in mind when we talk about relationship goals. Oh, and relationship goals is usually, oh, these are the people that I want my relationships to look like. These are like my mentors. And to be sincere, when you actually say that some people are like your goals, like your relationship goals, it's good to really think about our thoughts, like think about what you're thinking about really well. Like it's very important to ruminate about your thoughts, because you will start asking yourself questions like, so when I say relationship goals, what exactly do I want from a relationship? Like what exactly is it that I want my relationship to be like? Is it that I like the way they, their dress sense? Is it that I liked their purpose, their mission together as a couple? Is it that I like the fact that they have kids? Like, what exactly? Don't just be so carried away by the old social media hype and be saying goals, 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 and everything. So think about it. When you say you want to relationship goals, somebody, like, you want to look at somebody, just be sure of what exactly it is that you want to emulate from those kind of people. Secondly, is the fact that the truth is that relationships are quite sketchy. Okay, so from my own personal experiences, two things I've learned, I've seen over and over again, and even Pastor Mike like kept on referring to this, that in church, everybody just keeps saying, "Don't do it," like Nike. Nike says just do it, but churches will say don't do it, or religious centers, parents, don't do it, don't have sex, don't get with a boy, don't get with a girl, and then the next thing is don't have bad friends. Those are just like the advice, and that is like too vague for my inquisitive mind. For like this generation and the generations unborn, those are like very very sketchy ideas without clear roadmap as to what to do in relationships, and or what not to do in relationships, you grab. So it's very important that we lay the card straight, even when people attempt to talk about relationships. The bestseller books or the books you find online that or people that have written is always how to get the right spouse, how to get the right spouse. And in my mind, I'm like, so after I get the right person, what am I exactly supposed to be doing inside the relationship with that kind of person? You grab me. So that's why a book like this, written by Pastor Mike Todd, is very important, because it talks about what is happening in the context of the relationship itself, and I love it. So it's important that we all have relationship goals. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship goal. It can be a parental relationship goal. Also, at this point in time, I want to spend time with my more time with my parents. That could be a relationship goal. You understand? Or at this point in time, I want to spend time with my siblings. At this point in time, I want to intentionally make sure that I check up with my friends like a lot, like all the time. I'm that friend that keeps checking up on their well-being. Those are relationship goals. It doesn't have to be anything out of the blues, and it's not compulsory that it's anything romantic. You understand? So a relationship goal can even mean that, you know what, for the next few months, for the next 1 year or so, I really don't want to date anybody. I think I spend some time with myself and just enjoy my life being a single, you understand, and like work on myself. So those are examples of relationship goals that you could have, you understand. And let's round up this part by saying that in this world that there is so much we have so much relationships, and we have so many relationships and less love. We have so everybody having sex, not everybody actually, not everybody's having sex, a lot of people having sex, and there's literally little or no intimacy. What we should strive at in relationships, or strive for in relationships, is not perfection. Like, first of all, you are imperfect, I'm not perfect, so there's no perfect human being, and two imperfect people coming together can never make a perfect relationship. You feel me? So let's work towards progression in our relationships. Progression is very very important, more important than progression in our relationships is very important, more important than looking for perfection. Okay, so let's say this. Let me read this part of scripture to you. Proverbs 14:12. It says that there's a path that seems right unto man, but the end thereof is destruction. Okay, there's a path that seems right unto man, and the end thereof is destruction. Which brings me to chapter 2 that says before the person. So the thought of things seeming right to you, but then the end is bad boys. They will serve you breakfast. Okay, so before the person, before you bring another human being into your life, you understand? Before you bring another human being into your life, you need to realize that first off, relationship, the concept of relationship has always existed between God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. There's always been a relationship on the earth, even before Adam was given a wife. I hate to sound really cliche over here, but it's actually the truth. Before Adam was given a wife, he was given a purpose. So there's so much more about you, about your life, before you even start talking about relationships. Because I feel that one of the issues with people is that a lot of people don't spend time being with themselves, being with God, being with their careers. And a lot of people, maybe from even 13 or before then, people just get to jump into relationships from this person to this person, and they don't even like take a chill pill. And that's not a very healthy habit or a healthy thing to do, trust me. You need to learn to spend time alone and like get to really know yourself. It's very, very important and helpful. Okay, so this is, yes, that's very important to spend time being alone, like spend time knowing yourself a lot, and spend time with God. Spending time with God, spending time to develop a relationship with God, to be develop a relationship with the divine, you understand, it's going to help you, because first of all, it's only what God like approves that actually grows, you understand. That's first off. Then secondly, without God, really, without God, chemistry and all of those things that people talk about, I think they are a lot overrated. And Pastor Michael Todd was saying that chemistry, or we flow, we like each other. Trust me, there'll be one day that you guys are like all over the roof and you are not flowing. Trust me, like everybody's on their own and you're not flowing. You need much more than flowing, quote and unquote, which is, chemistry is important, but you can't just base your relationship only on that instant. And it's important to put God first in our lives before we put another person in, so before we even put ourselves, you understand. Okay, so, and usually the best of human relationships, they really flow when we are in like great standing with God, with our maker, you understand. Let me read a scripture to you that everybody talks about, and I will just point out the things for you. Matthew 22, chapter 32, 22 verses 37 to 38. It says that you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. A second commandment is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. Did you hear that? Okay, so first of all, is that you must love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Like if you don't love God with like wholeheartedly and everything, you can't you can't like if you haven't sorted yourself out very well before you are even thinking about a relationship. Okay, so I'm already talking about chapter 3 now. That is the S word. The S word is not sex right over here. S word means singleness word, you understand. So if you haven't sorted yourself out like with God, and like taking time to like cultivate a good relationship with God, it's going to kind of like affect your relationships. That's the truth. Then secondly is that 39 verse 39 says that you should love your neighbor as yourself. Everybody's always talking about loving your neighbor, our neighbor, who is my neighbor. There are so many things, like theological things, like even Google Matthew 22 verse 39. You see so many theological things and everything. But can people just also remember that the Bible says as yourself? So that means that English, if you don't love your neighbor, love yourself, you won't be able to love your neighbor properly. If you don't learn, spend enough time enjoying your singleness, like you won't be able to love another person. And first of all, if you don't, singleness helps you to become very self-aware. You spend time to know about yourself, your good, the good, bad, and the ugly, and you just be like, oh my god, so so this is you in all your in all your glory, in all your work. These are your tendencies, right? Being self-aware will help you a lot. Like it will carry you a long way, a very, very long way, because it is just very important for you to know yourself. And first of all, if you don't know yourself, how would you even know the kind of person that compliments you? So I have this friend that one time I met this friend, and when we were talking, like I think that was years ago, like a long time ago. When we were talking, like she really seemed to really know herself, like what she wanted, her dream, her aspirations, her this, what she didn't like, and that was really, really. I found that really, really attractive, like really, really, like really, really attractive, really, really good to emulate. If you don't know yourself very well, it will even be very difficult to find a spouse, someone that you're in a relationship with, because you won't be able to even like know your needs very well, and the person that you're supposed to be with, that is supposed to be meeting your needs, you understand. And when you it's true that two are better than one, really, because God really like made us for relationships, for interactions and everything. But the shocker here is that before we start bringing people into our lives, before we bring people into our lives, it's important to spend time being alone, work on our purpose. That purpose is very, very important. um Because when someone has a purpose, someone is bright, like has like a mission, a personal mission, things they are working towards, it makes the person a lot attractive. It makes the relationship enriching. I mean, there are so many relationships that, oh, it seems like the only thing they do in the relationship is just to maybe have sex or something, because relationship is boring, 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 boring. Okay, and like without sex, there's really nothing to do in the relationships, which is also very, very boring. Okay, so let's talk about this part. This part, I think this is chapter 4 already. Okay, so this part talks about relationship progression, and that is something I would like us to like really dwell on. Relationship progression, how relationships are supposed to be, like to naturally flow. So when we're young, you hear things like, okay, let me use my name and my name. So you hear things like tossing and tossing, kissing on the wall, KISSINGA. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in the baby carriage. So that kind of as I was laughing when Pastor Mike was actually singing this song, because that's the truth. The truth of the matter is that it has actually informed the way we see relationship progression. But let's shock you with this way, the way relationships are supposed to progress. Pastor Michael Todd opines that relationships are supposed to start from singleness, like your singleness. The S word is very important. Singleness, very, very important. Your singleness, dating, engagement, marriage, love, and children. It shock you, Abby. That we are not saying love first. Okay, so singleness. Let me just quickly wrap up on these concepts one by one. This chapter 4 is actually called intentional dating. That's the name of the chapter. So singleness is very important. We said before, it's important to be self-aware, know yourself, and all of that. Then dating, intentional dating. Not that you are just dating people randomly. It's not like you are just dating people randomly. Can I say that like a million and one times? Stop dating people that you can't marry. Stop trying to Netflix and chill with people. This is a time where you are getting to actually talk and intentionally know each other. And this is my learning point from this from this chapter. See, when you're dating somebody, give yourself 90 days to know each other before you become Facebook official, Instagram official, or start posting each other on your WhatsApp status and everything. Trust me, all of those gushing and people saying, oh, you guys look so cute, you really don't need that at the moment in the relationship. It could be very distracting and unhealthy for a relationship. So you meet somebody new, like, guys, this is a new arc. Write it down, make sure you're using it. When you meet somebody new, take 90 days to know the person. That's just 3 months. And if you're being honest with yourself, if you talk to somebody, you're not having sex, you're not fondling, you're not spending the night together, you're not doing all of those kind of stuff, you guys are really like spending time to know each other, like calling, texting, going out, having, not only going out to date or doing things that you're being distracted. Yes, it's good to do all of those fun things, but sitting down at a restaurant or at an eatery or at a park or something, to sit down and talk, just talk about things, get to know each other's family and everything. After 3 months, trust me, in even less than 3 months, you would be able to decide if you actually want to date this person, if you people can work out, if you are being honest, and if you've actually been talking. And I think it's very good to do this, because it just saves you a lot of time, energy. Because sometimes you've haven't you like spoken with people or like dated people or being close to somebody that if you really spent to like time knowing the person, you know that this one is waste of time. Don't let me even waste my energy with this person. Yeah, I ain't gonna work, man. So think about that, and let's just do that. Okay, so engagement, when you're planning the wedding, towards the wedding, he has already put a ring on it and everything. Then marriage, love, and children. Let me talk about this put a ring on it part. This one is very important. Okay, about putting a ring and everything, it brings us to chapter 5 that says does it need to end. So this part is basically teaching us that if you've spoken to somebody in those 90 days and you realize that, oh my god, this is not going to work, there's no point pushing it further. You're not going to put a ring on it. And so let me also say this: if you put a ring on it, don't turn yourself to Lord of the Rings. I beg you, my brother and my sister, please. Do sharp sharp. Let there be a date in mind when you're talking about the engagement. Okay, so back to how to end it. Like, does it need to end? How to break up with people? Because this part is important. Like, stop ghosting people. I've been ghosted before, and you can call me chief ghosted officer, and it doesn't feel nice. Trust me, it doesn't feel nice. That's something I don't think I would ever do to somebody. I don't want to do that to anybody, and I don't like it when it's been done to people. So stop ghosting people. So let's learn how to break up relationships. Three things. Number one, end it quickly. Immediately you know there's no point. Stop wasting the person's time. Stop trying to see, you know it that it's not going to work. So end it quickly and stop looking for a perfect time. You know that thing guys say, like, I was just trying to look for a perfect time. Dude, there is no perfect time. Like, you will never get that perfect time. Just say it out the way it is, and you need to stop wasting that person's time. Is a sign of respect to the person. Stop wasting people's time. Break up if you know it's not gonna work for you. Second is end it kindly. End it very kindly. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Like, I've actually broken up with somebody before, like, and we are not like doing best friend or anything. But if we need anything, if I'm in charge of something, if he needs my help, he can easily reach out to me and say, "Oh, Tosin, how are you? I heard you're in charge of so, and I need you to help me sort it out," and I'll do it. Like, even a lot of my friend people that have actually that we never dated, but maybe he just met me, liked me, and in the midst of the whole talking we realized I wasn't going to work. We still get to talk each other. A lot of them are maybe married, have kids, things like that. It doesn't have to end very dramatic. Like, relationships are very, very important. The fact that a romantic relationship doesn't work doesn't mean that you should not, like, talk to the person. Of course, I realize that some people need to be run away from. Trust me, I know that part too. Okay, so ending nicely, like kindly. Let's talk about Abraham and the Bible. How Abraham, when Abraham was going to like break up with Agar. Did I just say break up with Agar? Okay, that's what it is really. That's the truth. When Abraham was going to break up with Agar, and he didn't even tell his servant to deal with all the servants that Abraham had. He made sure the Bible says that he prepared food and a container of water and strapped them on Agar's shoulders before Agar went. Like, do it very kindly. It doesn't have to be a gbasgbos ending. Romans 12 verse 18 says, if it's possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. So as far as it depends on you, make sure you're living at peace with everybody. 3, end it cleanly. End it clean. Can we say this? Don't say, you know what, I'm not saying we should take some time, don't do all of those rhymes. Trust me, I'm just thinking, let's take some time, let's give each other a break. And in your mind, you know that this is no break. This is like, I'm jackpying, I'm running away. If you know you're actually running away, like, you really don't see a future in this, just tell the person honestly. Don't try to, don't do like Jesus. Don't do like you are going to do second coming of whatever your name is. It ain't necessary, bro, babe. It's not necessary. Just say that. Just end it quickly. End it quickly. End it nicely, and end it cleanly. Thank you very much for listening to that. It was important that we have to talk about that. Let's go on a quick commercial break. Oh my god, we're not gonna break on this episode, and we will be right back. Let's go on a quick short break. We'll be right back. The Blonde Path. Okay, sorry, I just drank water. If you listen to our book review of "You Are Too Good to Feel This Bad," that's one of the things that we're taught. Drink a lot of water. Go listen to that book, please. That book is amazing, by Nate Dallas. The book review is on the check out this platform. You would see it there. Okay, so chapter 6, we just finished talking about how to break up. Chapter 6. Before we go into chapter 6, I would like to read one of the forwards, like one of the praise for reviews of the book that was written inside the book. This review was written by Dr. Darius Daniel. Dr. Darius Daniel is the lead pastor of Change Church and the author of Relational Intelligence. Okay, so let's read this. We are often encouraged to practice what we preach. However, I think it's also important to preach what we practice. This is exactly what Mike and Natalie Todd have done. They have taken their lumps and transformed them into lessons. They have taken their pain and turned it into purpose. They have taken their mistakes and turned them into ministry. They have taken their blessings and turned them into a book. If you are looking for a blueprint to a blessed relationship, this book is for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Darius Daniels. Okay, so it's very important that when I say practice what you preach and everything, sometimes I've seen a lot of people living amazing lives that I'm like, you guys, you're already practicing something important, very, very nice. Please, I think you need to start preaching what you are practicing. Okay, chapter 6 says surrender your sexuality. Fam, in the original message, this part was called sex container, and let me just play the intro of this sex container as it was played in Transformation Church. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Good morning, Transformation Church. So Pastor Michael Todd on a Sunday morning was playing Let's Talk About Sex. Let's talk about sex, baby, in church. Okay, so that was very nice because I think it was even good that even you heard it that way. In your mind, I'm sure that some people are closing them and like, let's talk about sex in the house of God. Oh my God, what we said earlier. A lot of us in churches, we or how we grew up, how we were raised, a lot of people were not told about relationships, and it's very pathetic. Trust me. How many people went to Bible school to learn how to have sex? How many people? Did you? Family, I can bet that you didn't. Okay, so let's say things about sex. Sex is beautiful. Sex is not dirty. Sex is enjoyable. It joins people. Like, it actually joins people. So sex is not for recreation. Sex is not that thing you do as filling the blanks. It's not a snack in a relationship. It's not item 7 every time you see. That's not what I'm saying. Do you feel me? Sex is something that is not for leisure at all. God gave you your body, and you should give your body back to God. You should. Bible says that you should give your body back to God as a living sacrifice. We should present our bodies to God as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. Even our physical body is very, very important to give our bodies back to God. And respect your body. I mean, respect your body. This part, I can't say it enough. How can you be having sex with somebody, like sharing your intimate parts with somebody, and you can't share your phone password with the person? How does that feel? Do you value your private parts more than your password, or your password more than your private parts? You feel me? So sex is actually a very beautiful thing, and God knows that this sex thing, it can do people give. So let's just put it in a way that, in a place that people will not be served breakfast. Like, at least let's contain it. Let's contain relationships. So sex is actually God's idea. It's not somebody that just did a scientific research that said that now found out that we could have sex. Sex was God's idea, and I like that about God. Hallelujah. So sex is explosive, and that's why God said you should put in like a marriage relationship. So think about these things we've said about sex. Honor your body, and think about these things well. Okay, all right, nice. The last part of this book, we need to round this episode up. Thank you for listening to this part. Make sure you share with your friends. It's amazing to have a platform where you can listen to book reviews even when you don't sit down to read. Even if you sit down to read, trust me, it is very nice to know that I can listen to. You would read more books. You would have learned a lot at the end of the year, at the end of the month, at the end of every time you come to the platform to listen to a book review. Let's end with this. Chapter 9, major keys to marriage. So we said that, but Pastor Michael Todd said that marriage is one of the most appealing relationships. Actually, there's some parts in the book that Pastor Natalie also like wrote some things and all. So marriage is one of the most appealing, is the most appealing relationships, is the most appealing relationship on earth, but it requires hard work and sacrifice. Marriage is the most appealing relationship on earth, but it requires hard work and sacrifice. Number one key to marriage: understand each other's needs. This part very important. Men need honor and respect, in the sense that we should, as women, we should allow our men to fail. We should allow God to be the enforcer. So when you need something from them, they don't like you when you nag. So stop nagging them. It's counterproductive. Whatever it is that you want to tell them, and it's like they don't want to hear you, just go and talk to God. God knows how to deal with them and pass out across the message. Thirdly is that we should respect our men, not for what they are at the moment, but what you want to see in them. Understand? So if you know that this guy he sucks at helping me with at out chores, respect him, because you know that this guy is going to change. He's going to start doing house chores with me, and you understand. Respect what you want to see, not exactly what you see presently. We are not perfect, we are all progressing. Okay, so men also need support. They need support in the place of presence. They want you to be available for them. They want you to encourage them in the place of prayer and the place of insightful wisdom. Men, don't underestimate the value of sharing with your wives. Sometimes women can bring a perspective, things that you're not seeing, like a woman can bring. Two heads are always better than one. One will always chase 1,000, and two will put 10,000 to flight. So don't underestimate the power of sharing your wife. Men also need sex. They don't want sex. They need it, bros. Sisters, they need the sex. Okay. Women want security, affection, and communication. Affection does not always mean sex, please. Affection could just be holding hands, talking, communicating. Whatever affection means to your spouse, it doesn't necessarily mean sex. And sometimes it pisses women off when it's just like you want to jump straight to the point. Bro, calm down, let's do some, ragaboing. I didn't say that. Let's do some foreplay. Let's, maybe kiss, hug each other, and everything. Affection. Women need security, affection, and communication. Secondly, is know how to talk to each other. Quality is always more important than quantity. Spend quality time together. Um, know your communication style that works. Ensure that you recognize the power of your words. Choose your choice of words, very important. Choose the choice of your words, very important, and the tone of voice you are using to talk. Thirdly is that you should speak each other's love language. You should. If you've not read Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman, I think you should by now. And you should also take a love language test to find out your partner's love language. And also observe very well. Observe very well. Observe. I will not tell you my own love language. Go and find out what your own love language is and your spouse's love language. Know how to resolve conflict. Conflict resolution is very important to learn, because there are going to be issues, trust me. Then cut out unspoken expectations. I mean, this part is literally a no-brainer. If you have an expectation, let your spouse know. And if you can't tell the person, please let the person go, because it's very unfair to have expectations of people, like some expectations that are very unrealistic. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you very much. You have come to the end of this book review. Tell us what you enjoyed. Tell us what you actually enjoyed from listening to this. I hope you actually practicalize a lot of things. You can see that there are lessons for everybody: single, married, dating, engaged, whatever, or divorced, or senior citizen in marriage. Whatever stage you are in, I'm sure that you must have picked a lesson. Thanks for listening up to this point. Remember, this is Plan Podcast. Listen, we always drop our book reviews on Fridays, like new episodes drop on Fridays. So make sure you listen, you share with your friends, tell them about us. Bring Plan Consult to your training, your consultations, your counselings, collaborations, everything happening in education. Bring us there, and we'll be glad to work with you. Thank you so much. My name is Oluwatosin Mugbadwade. It's a pleasure to be your host on the show. So have a good week. Bye bye. Bye. Catch you up in our next episode.